Hey there, guys. It's Mia here. I am so excited. I am so excited about this live today. Now, very simply, I'm going to teach how to sell easily. How to sell easily, do less well. That's what I'm totally about. I'm Mia Redrick. I'm a business and life mentor. I got started in my company over 19 years ago, and I simply made the decision that I wanted to go to work with myself. I wanted to figure out how to leverage, how to take my background as a corporate trainer, that was my professional experience, and the systems that I had in motherhood that created transformation everywhere I went with moms that I knew. I wanted to figure out how to package my knowledge and to go into business for myself. And I didn't know how to do that. So my very first stop, I went to a small business resource center in my town. And I was told by the director of that small business resource center that my idea, mom coaching, did not make any sense, that no one would ever pay me to do what I've done today. Fast forward, I've had the opportunity to coach thousands of women, literally all around the world. And I support them in understanding that your knowledge is very powerful, properly packaged. And a lot of times we will take a soft skill, something that we naturally know how to do in our lives that has created tremendous transformation for ourselves, and we'll discount it, right? But I want you to know that that advice you've been given away for free, that it is highly monetizable. So tonight's going to really support you. And then also what you've been doing professionally. You know, a lot of the women that I've worked with over the years have tried to figure out, how do I take what I'm doing professionally and go to work for myself, build my own brand, build my own business based on what I know how to do. Well, you are in the right place tonight. This live is for you. You know, when I got started, I didn't have any products, I didn't have any customers, and I didn't know how to build a business online. It's been 19 years, and I've learned a few things. And not only have I been able to build an amazing business that is time rich, meaning I don't trade time for dollars to generate income selling my knowledge. I've built a business that allows me to coach and train and mentor people one to many. And I show my clients exactly what I do step by step. And many of them have traded in models of charging $150 an hour, $250 an hour, $500 an hour for understanding how to package their knowledge into high ticket packages, $2,500 per customer, 10 grand, 25 grand, 100 grand, multi-million dollar contracts based on what I've taught them how to do. And you're in luck tonight, because I was feeling like I really want to share what I know how to do, which is solve this mystery around selling and make it a lot more easier. Now, this live's going to be for you if you already have a product and maybe you've already launched, and you know what? You launched, but no one knew you launched because the cash register didn't ring, the customers didn't line up, and you felt like for a second, maybe, just maybe, I'm doing the wrong thing. I've got the wrong product. Maybe I'm not cut out for business. This is going to be for you. But it's also for you if you've launched and you've had success, but you know you could scale what you're doing, but you feel like you're working a lot harder than you need to be able to get those customers in front of you. And it's also for you if you're working with customers and you're like, I'm working with the wrong people. You know, meaning you're working with people who are not investment minded. And so you may have a great product or service, but if you're working with people who aren't investment minded, it makes it pretty tough to sell what you have. And it's also for you if you've never sold anything before. Maybe you've been thinking about launching, getting started in your business and your brand, and you're trying to figure out the best practices. Well, this is going to be totally for you as well. I'll just wrap up my story. You know, I coached thousands of women, and I've had the opportunity to build the brand of myself. And I literally wrote a bunch of books called Time for Mommy, a series for women to help them practice better self-care. Literally took those books and ended up doing corporate partnerships with Fortune 100 and 500 brands. Literally was able to get myself signed to multiple Emmy nominated, nationally syndicated television shows as paid talent. And I tell you this not for any other reason other than telling you, listen, I packaged my soft skills. I took what I knew how to do and I built the brand of myself. And you can do this too. And unlike a lot of the advice that you get sometimes online, a lot of the messengers haven't done the thing that they're teaching you. But I will tell you that everything that I will share with you today It's only what I've done. And not only have I been able to create these results for myself, but I've also had the ability to transfer that to my clients. And I have. And many of them equally didn't have a high ticket product when they started working with me. And as a direct result of us working together, they learned how to package their knowledge into high ticket offering. Many of them have done television shows. Several of them have gotten signed to television shows or sold their own shows. Many of them have done corporate deals. Many are high paid consultants, in demand experts who've traded in models of charging by the hour for packaging their knowledge and fully valuing their transformation using my step-by-step process. The greatest thing to me has been being able to be there for my family. The truth of the matter is I built my business for freedom. And I don't know why you want to be in business for yourself, but I can tell you, for me, I did not see myself as that person that was going to work 40 to 70 hours a week for 40 years. I knew I needed to get off of that hamster wheel. I love what I did, but I wanted to own my time, and I didn't want to miss any of my memories. I didn't want someone telling me when I could take off and see the kids' games or plays or whatever was going on at school. And so I really wanted to build a business that would give me time freedom. And I've done that. I work about 5 hours a week servicing my clients, literally, okay? And I love it. And I'm the boss applesauce. I built a business around my life, and it's what I teach my clients how to do. So if you're looking for radical ways to be able to grow your business profitably, listen into this live and many of my other lives. And I'll tell you that one of the things that happened to my family that proved to me that the model that I built my business with was just amazing. My husband developed kidney disease. And when he did, he went on dialysis and eventually got a kidney transplant. And during that transition, which was tough for my family, what wasn't tough was the fact that we had time. I could be there for my kids. I could be there for my husband. We had the income to be able to stand in the gap through that transitional process. We were able to hire for him a private physician. And I say this to you because I know a lot of times people think about running a successful company and money for the sake of money. But money is a tool. And when you have access to it properly, okay, you can do things in your family. Even when you have tough times in your life, you can make a tough time so much better because you have options. Okay, you have options, right? So, okay, enough of that. If you're ready, I'm ready. Today I'm going to teach on how to sell more easily. How to sell more easily. That's I love that title, right? How to sell more easily. Now, if you're ready, I want you to write you're ready. You guys know what to do if you've been watching me. And if you are watching the replay, also I want you to write, I'm ready, because you have to be ready for a powerful message. And I always say you have to be ready because you want to be in a place where you can receive that message. And Lois, of course you're ready. You're always ready. Anyone else ready? Okay, if you're ready, I want you to type I'm ready. It's an interactive live. You'll get more from the live from responding. Hey, Faith, if you're ready. You're always ready with that great, amazing picture. You'll get more by being interactive here, okay? And so I'm going to share this, and I'm going to tell a story, and then I'm going to tie this together with the strategy to help you figure out how you can leave this live and the lights come on how you can sell more. Rashida says, I'm ready. Awesome. I love that picture also. Okay. All right. So the first thing I want you to think about when you're thinking about selling more is likely the reason you came to this live is because either you haven't sold more, like you wanted to sell what you wanted to sell and it didn't work, like you did a launch and nobody showed up, it was crickets, and you're trying to figure out, what did I do wrong? Is it the product? Is it me? Maybe I'm in the wrong niche. Maybe the market's oversaturated. I know you've probably said those things. Or maybe you're at that place where you're just getting started and you're trying to figure out, what do I do to launch my product and service? And I'm kind of afraid because, things are different now with using social media to market. How do I do it? There's so many missing parts, connected parts to this. You may have heard, I need the blog, I need the podcast, I need to write tons of emails, you need to have a big old list. And you're thinking this sounds totally overwhelming. How do I do it? Well, I want you to understand the first thing you need to get is that the reason you're here is because likely launching has been a problem for you in some way, or there's some gap, something that you don't know about the launching process that's made you feel like, I'm not cut out for this. I'm not sure of what I need to do as my next step. And if you've had any launches so far and they didn't work, and I would love to hear your comments in terms of what happened, right? Is it that you launched and no one showed up? Is it that you did a free challenge? Because people tell you to do a free challenge, and you do a free challenge, you can do it 5 days. Some people do them 2 weeks, some people do them 21 days, and no one bought at the end of the challenge. Is it that you did that? You provided lots of value, you did everything that people told you to do, and it didn't work? Or is it that you're afraid to launch? Like, you've built this amazing product and you have the service, but you're like, I don't even know the first thing I need to do to let people know that I'm in business, right? So let me know, what is it that happened to you when you attempted to launch, or where you are in that process, so that I can incorporate that in what I share today. Or maybe you've thought about how to deliver what's included, right? And maybe you're just kind of caught up in the details of what you're going to launch. Sometimes when we have a new product or service, we focus so much on, like, how many modules is it going to be? Am I going to pre-record the training? Am I going to do this live? Do I wait until I get a certain number of participants before I go live? And because of that, that's impacted your ability to launch or to sell what you have, because you're waiting and you haven't seen the numbers to even demonstrate any interest. So you're just like, wait a minute, like, how do I launch something when I don't even know if anyone wants to buy this? I know I'm calling out all of your scenarios. Or maybe the challenges that you did launch, and when you launched, there were crickets. Like, the cash register didn't ring, nobody went to your landing page, and no one even clicked on the emails, no one called you about it, no one booked a strategy session with you, and you were trying to figure out what happened. Okay. Or maybe you went live and nobody bought from you at all, and you're just trying to understand, what am I missing? Okay, I got you, because I see all of these scenarios. Lois says, getting caught up in the details. It's true, because that was me when I got started. I actually thought that I would physically see my customers. I wasn't used to working with people online. I had not had any experience with that 19 years ago. And so in my mind, I had to adjust to the details of running an online business, learning how to market that way, and really, because I love to connect with people, I was trying to understand, how am I going to connect with people if I can't see them, right? So that was a challenge that I had, and there were details that I had to put in place, systems that I had to put in place, so that I could market to people in a way that would be authentic for me. Okay, so what do you do, right? So if you've had any of the scenarios that I've mentioned before, your question is like, Mia, what do I do? Faith writes, I have an amazing curriculum and coaching program, but never fully launched, just told a few people, right. So sometimes it's that what you have, it's amazing. Okay. It'll create real change for someone, but you haven't really launched, because maybe you've seen all of these different ways to launch, and they've got all these steps and all these funnels, and it just seems really like, how am I going to do this? Right. Like, overwhelming. And so I'm going to break that down. So what do you do? Okay, so let me just tell you that, over the years, I have done any kind of launch you could probably think of. Okay, so when I first got started, literally, when I first got started in business, my very first product was, I wrote an ebook, and I sold that ebook for $97. And it addressed a soft skill problem that a lot of people have with family relationships, a difficult family relationship, a difficult family member. And I put up 2 landing pages, and we weren't even able to go live at that time. Twitter was really big, promoted it on Twitter, and that ebook did $100,000. So literally, my very first product was an ebook. And I had no idea that just talking about my story would attract people to want to buy my ebook. And if you've watched my free webinar, you know that story, you know what happened there. And then I decided that I wanted to speak a little bit, and I started doing some speaking, and I liked it. And I had the problem that many speakers find themselves in. It's at the end of speaking. At the end of speaking, yes, it was $97 because there was two parts to it, and it was kind of like a coaching thing. There was like a $47 piece to it, and then there was a $52 supplement to it, but it was to help you with a family crisis situation. And I'm not going to get into it right now. However, I will tell you that it was a really good ebook, and it was there to help people. So $97. I didn't even know. I didn't realize that ebooks should be, $15 or $5 or $10. And that, I hope that you guys, as you hear my story, really supports you, because I never sold things that were really low ticket. So anyway, I was at this live event as a speaker, and I'm speaking. And at the end of the event, what happened to many speakers, what happened to me? All of these people who got value from my talk came up to me and said, "How do I work with you?" And I didn't have a landing page at the time, didn't even know what a landing page was. And so what I did was I told them, I pulled out a piece of paper, and I told them all to write down their name and their email address, and that I was launching something that upcoming week. But I actually didn't have anything, just so you know, okay? And so I don't know how many women must have wrote down their information, but it was quite a number. Maybe 20 to 30 women wrote down information, and they were interested. And I started thinking about what I talked about, and I started thinking about what they had, the questions that they had for me at the end of my talk. And I thought, why don't I support these women in life and business? And I built my very first business curriculum, part life, part business, part life, part business. And I sold it for $300 a month, $3,600. Okay, $3,600. And I want to say something like 17 or 18 people signed up. So that was like my very first kickoff. And right away, 17 people signed up. You guys, somebody can do the math, right? And it's something like that. It was like 17, 19 people, something like that, signed up in a program that was $3,600. And it was then that I started to realize, like, man, right? Like right out the gate, it was pretty close to like $70,000 for the very first time just mentioning it. And then I decided to mention it some more. And then that product did six figures. So literally I was creating success by just simply finding out what people want and giving it to them. And I'm going to break this down for you. Then after that, I decided that, do I want to work with people one-on-one? Do I want to do only group coaching? I launched my business doing group coaching. But then I thought, let me add these components like one-to-one, because I had a bunch of folks that wanted me to help them write a book and also build out curriculum, because that's my background. So I started doing VIP coaching. And at that time, I think I was charging like 10 grand or $15,000 to help folks when I first got started. And I just really didn't even understand, really that all I was selling were high ticket things. I hope you guys hear me. And I'm speaking my truth. I'm telling you guys what I did, because I think a lot of times when we get started in business, we have this mentality that we need to start selling things for low ticket. But see, I just never valued my gifts in that way. My ebook was higher than normal, more than what a lot of people were charging. My first coaching program was a high ticket product, which to me is something over $2,500. I didn't know to undersell what I was doing. Okay. I then launched some consulting with clients. I would consult them on writing their books. It started right initially around $4,500. And then that product went up to about $36,000. Same product today is $72,000. And here's the thing. It was because I was valuing what I was doing properly, I was able to work with less people and deliver amazing value to the clients that I was working with. Are you hearing me? Are you getting me? Because a lot of times what gets in the way when we want to sell things easily is that we have these low ticket prices. I'm teaching right now with these low prices. Okay. And now you need a gazillion people. Did I say a gazillion? a gazillion people to work with in order for you to be profitable. And you also find that you can't really create true value and transformation for the people you're working with because you got to work so hard to put people in and then have people leave. But I never built my business that way, and I hope that this supports you. And along the way, I also decided to do consulting with corporations and realized there was tremendous opportunity there to sell what I had for big ticket items. And so that's what I did. So I did partnerships with corporations for Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 brands. I created my own systems, my own proprietary process, and I sold it, period. And then what happened was I was creating great results in my own life, in the lives of my clients, and I had what you call proof. Okay, I want you guys to hear me. And the way to get proof, okay, is to sell authentically. Like, because I had created results for myself first, there were people who would come forward and say, can you show me what you did for yourself? And because I didn't undervalue what I was doing, okay, I was able to really support that person, create an amazing result. And that result created change. And that change became a testimonial, which allowed me to grow my business authentically because I provided value. And that was a whole statement. If you're getting what I'm saying, how I'm teaching you today, then I want you to say, I'm getting this, Mia. Okay? Because I think one of the things that happens when we want to sell easily is that we actually don't do it that way. Think about it. Most often we start off thinking, I'm going to create something that you think everybody can afford. You don't qualify the client. You let every single person work with you, and not every person is qualified to work with you. You work with people who aren't investment minded, meaning if they're not investment minded, they don't want to invest in themselves. They're likely not going to be investment minded related to doing the work either. Okay. So therefore, even if you are working with people, you don't have tons of testimonials because you're not attracting people who really want to get, who want to invest with you because they want to get results. That's a completely different client. I am all the way teaching right now. Okay. But I got started in this way, and I only sold high ticket things to my clients. And here's the benefit for me was that I built a list of investors. So I didn't build a list of people who wanted things for $97 or $100 or $200 or $500. Most of my clients were investing $3,000 or more. Okay, who are my list? Now, mind you, I was in business 19 years ago. I didn't know a whole lot about business, but this is the one thing that I did know. I knew that working in corporate training, we would buy content all the time. I knew how to value content because of my background. And I knew that I couldn't sell my knowledge for cheap like so many people do. It breaks my heart when I see someone that says to you, build a course and just sell it for a little bit. And over time, when people get in, you can increase your prices. And I'm like, this is like your knowledge. This is your background. This is what you know how to do. Why are you undervaluing what you have up front? It's because you haven't been told how to sell easily. And here's the question. Here's the one thing that changed everything that allowed me to always sell what I had easily. Are you guys ready? Are you ready? It's just 4 words. And it's what I do all the time. And I'll say, how can I support you? That's it. $1 million. This is the $1 million statement. How can I support you? How can I support you? And let me tell you how I've used it in my business over the years. Instead of me over the years deciding I'm just going to build something, I'm going to build some kind of vanity product. I'm going to build something based on my brand, what I want to give people. Instead, I find out what people want from me, right? I listen to what they say. And then based on that, then I design something for them. And I have found over the years in listening and asking this question, how can I support you? Or as many of my clients will say to me, they'll say it back to me. They'll say, does this support you? Because I say that to them all the time. Because at the end of the day, it's not about what you want to build or what you want to sell or what you want to teach. It's about what the person that needs you, it's like, what do they need from you? And finding out, being a seeker of that, and designing what you do around that. Okay, because that's called a solution. And I believe the reason that I've created great success with my products and been able to teach my clients how to build amazing products when many of them don't even have funnels and they sell like big ticket items. You know, I've got clients who have just had a conversation and closed 40 plus $1,000 deals or more because they understand that it has nothing to do with having a funnel, having fancy landing pages, or blogs. I mean, you can have those things and they're great advantages in many cases, but you do not need all of those things in order for you to close someone right now. It's interesting because when you understand what I'm saying here, the sales cycle isn't long. Most of the women who decide to work with me decide to work with me within 24, max 48 hours of meeting me, literally. Okay. There's not this whole long drawn out sales process because it's unnecessary. And if that's what you've been taught or that's what you think, that's probably the thing that's getting in the way. Get close to the customer, ask the customer, how can I support you? Work only with people who want to solve a problem, people who are investment minded, people who are solution oriented. Okay. I'm just saying because I know that that'll make a big difference for you. Okay. And, you know, I think also the thing that's really important that your customers know is that they don't want to be sold. Like, think about it. Okay. The person that wants to work with you, they don't want to work with you because you're trying to sell them on something. They want to work with you because they know that you're the obvious choice. And they'll know you're the obvious choice based on how you position yourself, based on the value that you provide them, based on your ability to examine and diagnose them, based on your ability to create transformation in others as well as yourself, and to demonstrate that proof. And I hope that there's something that I've said to you today that you hear and you're like, huh, what do you mean position yourself? I teach my clients and I'll teach them at the Giant Experience, August 2nd through 6th, how to position yourself as the obvious choice. That is the only way that I market. Position yourself as the obvious choice. When you're the obvious choice, people want to work with you, period. Okay. There's no haggling. There's no proving. There's no convincing. And if you're doing that, I will tell you it's because there's a piece in your marketing strategy that's missing. When you position yourself as the obvious choice, it means people see what you're doing. And you know what? This is their thought. When they read your testimonials, they think they can't all be lying. This is literally what they think. Because if you structure the business the right way the first time, you're working with a small number of people to create a high level result. And you should only be in business if you have the intention to create results for others, number one. And the idea that you charge high ticket for what you do allows you to be properly compensated so that you can really give people your all. My goal is never to work with, thousands of people at one time because I like actually knowing my clients' names. I like knowing what their business is. I like being able to support them step by step, week by week with the progress of closing their deals or whatever it looks like. And the reality is that's just not my model, and if you've been thinking that what's going on, like maybe you've had 100 people come through a particular launch that you did and you didn't know any of them. And you have no idea what kind of results they created. You kind of think they did, but they didn't come back and tell you about the results that they created. It's because likely that's a low ticket product. You're not attracting. Let me cut my phone off. Oh, my daughter's calling me. Okay. She's with one of her girlfriends. Okay. So likely it's that you created a product that has a lot of maybe great ideas, but it's not creating real transformation in the lives of the individuals that you're working with. And that's super important. Okay. If you haven't thought about it, I hope that this really supports you. I would like to hear one aha or takeaway that you've gotten as a result of being here. Let me just text my daughter, right? Let me just text her and see. Okay. Awesome. She's with her best friend and they're going to watch a movie. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So We're always mom, right? We're always mom. All right. So tell me one aha, one takeaway that you've gotten so far in me sharing this, right? One thing that you know that maybe you'll do, or an aha, something that clicked for you hearing what I'm sharing. I wrote some notes just so I could remember what I wanted to talk about, but I really just wanted to speak from my heart, because it breaks my heart when I know that you're already doing all the work and you're like, what's going on? Why am I not closing? What's happening in my business? Lois says, obvious choice, right? So your aha or your takeaway is learning how to position yourself as the obvious choice. And when you do that, then competition becomes irrelevant. See, there are lots of people who think that the only way to get customers is to take customers. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my whole life. Okay. The reality is that the people who work with you because you're you. That's the belief I have. That's the knowing I have. Okay. And I want you to know there's a layer of money around you can't see. There are people who want to work with you who you don't even know yet. When you position yourself the right way in your marketing, authentically, when you demonstrate that you clearly create results and you deliver value, there are people who will come forward. I see it every day. I do these lives and I get off the live and we have tons of messages or emails from folks, or messengers, emails, or the live chats we get in about something that somebody heard me say, or maybe it's something they heard on YouTube or whatever. Why? I mean, I'm just being myself, okay? And the notion that people think that you have to dominate, right, someone else in order to be the best, you don't have to. None of that's real. It's more than enough for every single person. And the people that want to work with you because you're you. Madeline writes, don't just build a vanity product. I love the hair, okay? Don't just build a vanity product. You're not building a product for you. You're building the product or service for the client. It solves a problem for them, okay? And being really clear about what that is will make all the difference for you in being able to launch a product that people say yes to. When I think about the number of times that people build products and they've never asked their audience what they want from them. So imagine that I offer you something and I don't even know what my audience wants. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we'll try to sell the person the thing that we want, but you got to think about what do people want from you based on your talent and your skill. Hey there, Robin. I love it. Pricing your value. Well, Robin, you know that this is what I teach because you're a giant in the community. And the fact of the matter is understanding how to stand in your value around your pricing is everything. And building your business from that perspective will make all the difference. And then Taronda writes, keep a personal connection with your customers. Know their need for better service. I think it's important, right? I mean, particularly when you're selling high ticket services, right? That you want someone to know your name. Can you imagine if someone would pay you 10 grand and you have no idea who they are? Okay, like that's just crazy to me, right? Like insanity. Okay, it's a goal, right? A goal for me that I can connect with my clients and know them, know what they want to do, push them. How do I push people that I don't know? I don't know that that's possible. So I love that. I love that you got that as value. Any other ahas or takeaways on from this live tonight? Talked about how to sell easily. Okay. And I'm surprised that my statement, how can I support you, that no one wrote that, because that's literally what I say all the time. Did this support you? How can I support you? Because when I listen to how I can support someone, I can now think about what they want versus what I want to give them. Does that make sense? Think about what they want versus what I want to give them. All right. Okay. Any quick questions, comments for me? Tasha says she's working on a big launch. Go, Tasha. I love it. Okay. And Taronda says always. D says so true. And Tasha says Texas is here and great advice. Thank you. And she also says hello to everyone. And Faith says, I'm getting this. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Any other ahas, takeaways before before I sign off today, or any quick questions. I do want to share with you guys August 2nd through 6th is the Giant Experience. It's my master training. It is my best work. Literally, it is my life's work. It includes a 90-minute live coaching session with me each and every day in group format. And I answer your questions around packaging your knowledge as a high ticket offer, pricing to fully value your transformation, pricing to value what you do, not creating a price because you looked at somebody's website, right? Like showing you what you should be charging for what you're doing based on your expertise, your background, your gifts. I show you how to position yourself in the marketplace as the obvious choice, how to take your background and how to leverage it, and also how to sell, how to find buyers. And I give you exactly the language that I use when I close clients, right? When clients say yes, right? It's, it is absolutely an incredible event. I have to say so myself. You get 10 plus hours of training when you sign up, and it literally is step by step. You get an implementation guide to teach you how to take what you're doing already and how to package it and how to price it and position it. In a minute, I'll show you the landing page so you can take a peek. Rashida says her aha is your thoughts around knowing the impact your work is having. Isn't that an incredible aha, right? Like knowing what is the value of the transformation that you're putting out there. Most people don't know, okay? And therefore, that's why they're charging what they're charging. And Robin came to the Giant Experience and she says, and it is a great training. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for saying that. I appreciate you being a giant in this community. Giants always share. I want to take a minute and let me just show you guys the landing page, and I'll put the link here. I'll put the link here for the Giant Experience. And if you could post an aha takeaway that you have, once I flip back, I'll read it. 1 second. Okay. Here you go. All right. So here's the Giant Experience master training page. It's for entrepreneurs and coaches, consultants, trainers, course creators, speakers, and authors who want to stand in their value, charge what they're worth, close with ease, and package their knowledge, expertise, education into a high ticket offer on or offline. And it's a pretty amazing event, if I say so myself. Each and every day I break down how to package what you do into a high ticket offer. It's 10 hours of the master training. And you get access to that, plus a 5-day bonus live with me. And I answer every question on the floor, and I love it. So when you sign up, you get immediate access, 7-day access to the training. So you can rewind and rewatch it from the comfort of your home. Plus, you get the live training so I can clarify for you what you need to do in your business to restructure your offer, right, as a high ticket offer. And these are just some examples of what my clients have been able to do working with me. There are tons of them. I can't guarantee that these will be your results because I haven't met you yet, but I can tell you that Diana closed a $144,000 contract 9 weeks after the event. Audra closed $48,000 as her first deal 3 weeks after attending the Giant Experience. And I always love sharing other women that I work with, their stories, because it's real, for one. And I think it's important that you know that that's real, that it is possible. I did share Diana's story the other day, but I could easily share Besides.
Hi, Giants. This is Betsaida LeBron, team building expert. And I just wanted to share a win that I just had implementing Mia's concept of just standing in your value. I've been doing trainings before and, been booking them, and, people were paying me like $1,000 at a time, sometimes $1,500. And as I did the exercise that Mia asked us to do and really understanding, like, what is it that you're bringing, and then realizing that it's transformative what I'm offering people as far as getting unstuck with their team. And I had a pitch, and I put it for $2,500, and I was a little nervous when I did it, but I did it because I was like, what would Mia say? Like, this is more than worth it. And then I got a response email back that said, I don't know if this is like, based on the amount of time and the minimal prep, would you accept $1,500? And at first I was really taken aback and I felt kind of, and um, then I thought again, what would Mia tell me? And I was like, no, you said that that's it and you're going to stand in your value. And I responded with just like a firm but clear email saying that, you're paying for like my experience, and the what I bring, right? It's not just my time, is all factored into the cost, and that it's non-negotiable. And I just kind of was like, well, they're probably going to not come, they're not going to come back to me. But I was okay with it because I was really proud of myself for just like standing in my value. And I just got an email not that long ago saying, okay, sounds great. Send me the contract. Let's move forward. So I am blown away that I was going to leave money on the table because of my own insecurity and fear. And I'm so excited to be able to say that because of Mia being in my head and all the things that she's talked to us about in the Giant experience, I was able to just confidently be there, and they came to me, and I am thrilled. And I just wanted to share that. Thank you, Mia. Thank you to all the Giant.
I love that. And I love what she's sharing. And you can feel her emotion, his Connie's
treasure. And I believe it's priceless. What I really love about Mia Redrick is that she meets you where you are. And for me, that's really important. And she is so encouraging and has such an encouraging community of women that help uplift each other. And for me, this is monumental. In addition, she helps with mindset.
Yeah.
Being able to change your way of thinking, being able to know your own value. And when I first met Mia, I didn't have that. And so now I feel confident about myself and about even knowing what it is that I do. Before I met Mia, I always do a lot of things. I couldn't really put it into words what all I did without going on and on and on. And with Mia's program, I'm able to tell you exactly what I do and who I serve and how I serve them. And so it's wonderful being a part of this journey with Mia. And she's someone that has a genuine interest in your success. And so for me, that's priceless. And I can't thank you enough, Mia, for your help. I know we've got a long road to go to get to where I want to be, but I know I'm on the right track. And I've already found so much value in being one of Mia Redrick's clients. So for that, I sincerely thank you, Mia, from the bottom of my heart.
It's interesting when she shot this, a couple weeks later, she closed a $24,000 deal. Since then, she's closed that same deal a couple of times. So it's kind of interesting what happens to clients. I was listening and I was trying to think, where was she in this journey, on her journey? But here are some of the testimonials. I'm not going to play them all because we would be here all night. But I would love for you to click on the link. I'll post it in a second so you can see the kind of results that my clients create, okay? Whether it's getting TV or becoming a high-paid speaker or learning how to get paid up front before you speak, or in Cynthia's case, she had done an event the year before, and I think they paid her something like, I want to say like $2,000, and I looked at the same opportunity and helped her negotiate that exact same opportunity for 20 grand. So it's pretty interesting. Personal trainer who closed $7,500, goes on and on and on, but you'll be able to look for yourself and see. I'm going to flip back over here and I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Okay, awesome. All right. Any other questions, comments about the Giant experience, about anything that I've said to you today? It is $1,697, $1,697. Well worth it. Let me just tell you. And let me post it here. $1,697. And what people usually tell me is that they would pay $5,000 at a minimum to come to this. So for the level of training that I provide. So, and that's just my honor. It's always just to give you exactly what you need. I just posted the testimonial page for you to take a peek. Okay. Any quick questions, comments, thoughts before we sign off? So we talked about tonight how to sell what you have easily. And I think that one of the things that we can all agree on is that selling is a mindset, right? It's a mindset. And I hope that as a result of being here tonight, this has supported your mind, okay? And understanding you don't have to do a whole lot of launches. You don't have to make selling hard or do a bunch of free challenges or blog every day or podcast, all of this stuff, that there's an easier way for you to get directly to your customer and they can say yes quickly. Lois writes that her aha was properly packaging your knowledge. Packaging your knowledge properly is everything. And most people don't know how to do it, right? So they don't know how to value what they're doing. They don't know the structure to put their packages in to make them high ticket. So that's why often people are underselling and undervaluing what they're doing, okay? And I always say that a lot of times, if you buy into like low ticket things, then what happens is the intent of whatever you bought, like you buy something for $90, it was never intended to create a change for you. So a lot of times the advice that you've gotten has been based on the investments that you've made. I mean, I've been a high ticket investor in myself for years. My very first investment when I didn't know how to build a coaching business was significant. I hired a coach. It was the very first thing that I did when I left that director of that small business resource center who told me it wouldn't work. I found someone that was growing a business the way that I wanted to grow a business. And I guess the last thing that I'll share with you, and it was interesting because last week, well, a week and a half, my family and my family came with me on business to Puerto Rico. And one of the things that I've been thinking about doing is relocating to Puerto Rico to live there full time. And it was interesting because I was thinking about how I want to run my business from there and how I want to serve my clients from there. And it's interesting just in surveying my clients 2 years ago, many of them have a desire to travel and have an immersive experience and also get life support as well as business support. And I thought, wouldn't it be great for me to be able to provide that level of value to my clients? And since I was already thinking about living in another location for the majority of my year, I thought, why not Puerto Rico, right? So just started that journey. I want you to understand that you can take any single thing that you're doing, right? And like listen to what your clients are saying and package what you're doing into a high ticket offer and serve the world. Think about how amazing that is to be able to live life where you're in demand. And when you're in demand, you're in command, right? In opposed to being another way to run your business or your company where you are hoping that people come forward. Reality is that people will come forward because of the level of results that you know how to create. And when you understand how to communicate that effectively, how to position yourself in the marketplace, your ideal clients will seek you out. All right. So I love you. I hope that you have an amazing day, night, depending when you're seeing this. And if you're watching the replay, please post your comments here, right? If you haven't checked out the Giant Experience Master Training, check it out, okay? August 2nd, August 6th. It's going to be amazing. I know. Isn't it awesome? Robin, I'm so excited. We're so excited. We looked at a couple of places, and I'm excited. So we're early in the journey, but I'm excited about it. And, and it's interesting because, and I'll just say the small thing and then I'll sign off. It's interesting because my mentor always lived in Mexico for about 5 or 6 months out of the year since I've worked with her. And so she really painted that vision for me that it was really possible to run your business anywhere you wanted to around the world. Now, obviously, when my children were younger and I chose to educate them here, that wasn't the desire that I had. But I knew that as my kids got older, that was something that I wanted to do. And so now stepping into that, I got a 23-year-old, a 19-year-old, and my 16-year-old, and we're creating that transition. And I'm so excited, like really excited about stepping into the next level for myself and leading from the front for so many of the women that I get to support, and that we can do this thing any way we choose to. All right. I love you if you build the business properly. All right. I love you guys. Have a great and amazing night, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.